Good afternoon and welcome to Business Bytes. My name is Jenny Rojanasatian and I am the Executive Director of NCW Tech Alliance. Business Bytes is our monthly opportunity to provide content and resources to our membership base. If you're watching live today, it means you are a member of the Tech Alliance, so thank you so much for your support. But here's the good news, we are recording the content. So if you have to drop at any point during the next half an hour, you'll be able to find this resource on our website later, or refer a friend who maybe wasn't a member and able to attend live. In just a second here, I'm going to introduce our speaker, but I want to let you know as far as orientation, you can drop your questions into the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. At the end, we're going to have open Q&A, and we can also unmute your mic if you want to ask a question without putting it in the chat. We'll also be sure to include our contact information in case you have any questions that pop up afterward. The Tech Alliance has a lot of upcoming events. I want to plug those very briefly here. We have an industry tour this Friday at Big Bend Community College. Next week, we have a happy hour. We do rotating happy hours across North Central Washington, and our next one will be in Moses Lake at 10 Penn. We've also partnered with Generator for another skills cohort. This is a 6-week free training resource brought to you by Generator, NCW Tech Alliance, Apple STEM Network, and Microsoft. The next cohort is going to be on project management. So if you're interested in learning more, definitely tap into that resource. Speaking of skills, we are launching our 3rd annual Upskillathon on October 17th. And here's what's especially exciting about this year's Upskillathon. We have $10,000 that we're going to be awarding to individuals and teams across our community. So you're going to want to check out Community Skills Initiative. It's our rebrand of our upskill program, and plug into this year's Upskillathon competition. We're also hosting some legislative forums to talk about STEM education with current elected officials and those running for office. We'll be holding them for District 13, District 12, and District 7. The information for District 12 and 13 is available online now. We also host a monthly cyber meetup. So if you are a cybersecurity professional, a great way to plug in with our tech community. And another way to plug in with our tech community is our upcoming computer science fair. We already have over 500 students registered from across Washington State. They're coming into the Town Toyota Center on November 9th to learn about careers in computer science and meet with employers. Great opportunity to get involved. So without further ado, I want to pass this over to Jessi Mendoza. He is a business banking relationship officer at Numerica Credit Union. For more than a decade, he's been serving the Wenatchee Valley as part of Numerica's Credit Union team. A couple of shout outs for Jessi. He's also one of our advisors for NCW Tech Alliance and is working to support our entrepreneurial programs. In addition, he's a past honoree of Wenatchee Valley's Business World 30 Under 35 and an incredible community leader. So thank you, Jessi. And I'm going to go ahead and stop share so you can share your presentation.
All right, sweet. Thank you, Jenny. Appreciate it. Thank you to the NCW Tech Alliance too for kind of letting me kind of stop by and be able to share this with you guys. So I'm just going to figure out screen share here. Can you guys see my screen okay?
It looks great.
Perfect. All right. So this is just going to be a kind of a brief introductory sort of background as far as kind of getting some business banking and business financing and applying for a business loan. So kind of 101, if you will. Just a little bit more background on me. Like Jenny said, I've been with Numerica for a little over 11 years, and about half of that, almost half of that, has been in this role as the business banker doing business loans. So I'm the relationship officer, so I kind of take care of our business owners and make sure all their financing needs are met, make sure, you know, anything goes wrong or anything happens, I'm there for them. I take care of them, and I'm kind of their go-to contact. I cover our Central Washington, primarily Wenatchee Valley, and so I'm the kind of the primary person for Numerica. We also have offices in Tri-Cities, in Spokane, and in Idaho as well. And just on a personal note, I'm kind of a little bit of a foodie. I really enjoy some good Mexican food. I love to travel, and you could probably find me on the golf course. Just been getting into golf the last 2 years, and as I've been having a lot of fun. And just as far as Numerica as a whole, what type of loans we offer is we offer all sorts of variety, different types of loans, from SBA 7A loans and 504. That's for a business startup. That would be a really good fit for that one. Or if it's a business purchase, also really good option for doing something like that. In addition, we're actually a preferred lending partner. So we actually can do a lot of it in-house as far as the program. And so that allows us a lot of flexibility and sort of helps streamline the process because we do so many of these. It really opens up a lot of options and helps us out, and it helps the business owner out, just to make it a much better experience for everybody. Business term loans. So these are vehicle loans, real estate loans, investment properties, rental properties, fourplex, duplex, single family residences. We do those quite a bit, although that's probably going to be slowing down a little bit now that interest rates are kind of climbing up quite a bit. More on that in a little bit. And secured business lines of credit. So this is doing more for working capital and just having access to funds just to help manage your cash flow. And so that really opens up another option for business owners to be able to tap into that. And accounts receivable. So if we could use that as collateral. So if you have a whole bunch of receivables, you've done a lot of work and just waiting to get paid for those projects, then we can help provide a line of credit to still be able to pay for your operating costs and maintain your payroll and everything else. And equipment loans, we offer those as well. And business banking suite. So at Numerica, we offer all sorts of really great products and services to help the business owner manage their cash and being able to make their payments and keep good tabs of where their money is going, doing online wires, ACH, bill pay, and being able to print certain reports online. It's really nice. We actually received a really great upgrade last year where a business owner can actually take a look at all of their accounts through one login. And that really makes it easy to be able to make transfers and being able to see everything in one spot. Remote deposit capture and merchant processing. So being able to, accept debit and credit cards, remote deposit capture, being able to process your checks, and you don't have to stop by the branch if you don't want to. You could actually deposit checks just with a little machine. And also credit cards, and being able to give your access to your bookkeeper, your accountant, to be able to see your bank account online. That really helps them out, kind of be able to do all their banking and everything else for you. So one of the key things that we look at, I know on the consumer side, when I was on that side, I would always look at debt to income ratio, and debt to income, it's very easy to understand, is like, okay, how much debt do you have compared to how much income? Well, on the business side, it's a little bit different, sort of similar concept. It's debt service coverage ratio. Essentially, is there enough cash flow? Is there enough profit, net operating income to be able to pay all your debts and have some left over? And specifically at minimum 1.25, so at least $1.25 for every dollar of debt, and this is on an annual basis. So for example, if you have $1,000 a month for your payment, that's $12,000 a year, then we'd want minimum $15,000 of cash flow to be able to service that debt. And so that's one of the more important sort of ratios and things that we take a look at. And there's a lot that goes into the cash flow or the net operating income, as far as adding back interest, depreciation, amortization. Those are certain add backs that we can add back into to get a good number to figure out, is there enough cash flow in the business to be able to make all your debts or to make all your payments? And is there enough left over? So that's a really important metric, and important for the business owner to know your financials and understand those. And so what I look for, primarily cash flow. We're a cash flow lender. We're definitely going to make sure there's enough money to pay the bills. If there isn't, then we've got problems, and we won't be able to do much to be able to help with that. So that's primary. Down payment. We definitely want to see the business owner have their skin in the game to be able to put towards, especially on a business purchase, or just purchasing some real estate or a vehicle. That helps keep in line with what we want to see as far as how much risk we're willing to take and how much leverage we want to use, and make sure there's enough value there, enough of a buffer to, make us feel a little bit more comfortable taking on and doing this loan. And experience. So how much does the business owner have? How long have they been in business? How long have they been doing it? Is it somebody that's been working in the business and has been working there for 5-10 years or more, and has slowly taken on more of the responsibilities of the business owner, and that now that person, that manager, is looking to purchase the business? That's a sort of an ideal situation where they've been groomed and prepared, and they've been saving up, and that's a warmer handoff and transition to be able to purchase a business like that. So that's really what we would look for in something like that. In addition, we want to see other sources of repayment. And so we look at the individual, we look at the whole picture and figure out how much, is there other avenues? Is there other accounts that we would be able to, the business owner would be able to tap into if something were to go wrong? And so that's another avenue, and sort of specific accounts that we want to be able to see that the business owner has in order to be able to, make a stronger application. And this could mean investment accounts. This could be just retirement accounts, rental property income, or a spouse that, has a really good job. All of those add stability into the application. And just preparing to meet with your banker. Primarily, it's profit and loss statement and a balance sheet. If those are current, if you have a good bookkeeper, good accountant that's maintaining good books, that's going to go a long way for us to be able to rely on those. Personal financial statements. So these are your personal liabilities, and get a good estimate as far as like, what does your net worth look like, and going over again your balance sheet as far as like how much assets you have, your house, your cars, investment accounts, and then compare your liabilities, your debts, car loans, student loans, credit cards, that sort of thing. And we still look at your credit score quite a bit too, just to kind of get a good measure as far as your historical record as well. 3 years tax returns. This is going to go both on business and personal. And so we're going to take a look at 3 years just to get a good idea of your trend. And cash flow projections, especially on a business startup or a business purchase. We want to get a good idea on a 24-month, broken down month by month cash flow projections, and take assumptions into consideration as far as pricing, your hours you're going to be open, the number of employees. All of those little things add a lot of detail and give us a good idea of how well this has been thought through. And so the more specific and clear you are about what you're asking for, and what your cash flow projections are going to look like, and be conservative with those, that's going to help paint a really good picture of the business, especially on a startup, because those are pretty risky. Business plan. So you want to include your market size. Where do you plan to service the business? customer acquisition, where and how are you going to market and get your customers? Is it a service business? Is it a product business? And management resume, get a good gauge of your experience with this sort of business and industry experience and your roles and responsibilities that you've had. All of those is going to help us get a good idea of how fit and how well prepared are you to be able to start or kind of take on a loan and a business such as this one. And pricing and strategy, and I already talked about assumptions. Just make sure you have good pricing, good healthy amount of margins, and make sure that those margins are in line with market industry standards. 5 C's. So character, credit, cash flow, conditions, and collateral. These are very big, especially in any loan, any borrowing. Especially in SBA world, you definitely want to, we look at trustworthiness, experience, and record. So if you have any type of record, anything like that, criminal record, we want to be able to explain exactly what happened and being able to explain what happened there and there. So the better reason that we have, then we can get some rationale and being able to move forward with that. As long as you don't owe the government money, then that's definitely a big no-no, and we won't be able to borrow more money. If you owe them, they're probably not going to want to lend you more. And so credit, cash flow, basically, have good credit, make sure you make your payments on time. Cash, make sure you've saved up enough and you are prepared to take on a purchase like this. Conditions and collateral. So, take a look at the economy right now. We have a lot of headwinds with inflation, with just, looming recession happening right now. All these supply chain issues. So all these are going to be factored into being able to make a decision at the time that you're making the application. And collateral, what type of collateral are you purchasing, and make sure our loan to value is appropriate, typically 75 to 80%, but it really depends on the type of collateral that we're doing. And biggest mistakes is just not planning far ahead in advance and not saving up and being prepared for a purchase, especially if it's a substantial one. So just being able to save up as much as possible and not be over leveraged and not taking on too much debt and buying multiple houses or co-signing on other houses. I see that quite a bit. And quality financials, once again, just kind of rely on your accountant or professional to be able to help you out with that. All right, so purpose of the loan. So why borrow? Why now? Just timing. Does it make sense for you, for the business at the time? Just kind of try to paint the clear picture of what your growth plan looks like, and does it make sense at this time right now? And so is this a replacement of a vehicle? Is this an addition to doing a new one? Being able to explain those will go a long way. And if all else fails, rely on friends and family to give you the loan or provide some additional assistance to just kind of start up your business. Hard money, private lenders, going to be a lot higher fees, higher interest rates, but there's always, other newer sources like crowdfunding, doing it something online. Home equity loan, smaller, you could get probably a better interest rate. You can do a private note with the seller that's willing to kind of work with you on the business or a building, and they can kind of work with you, and then we could later potentially refinance it too into more of a conventional loan. Or a community development financial institution like Craft 3, and then you could graduate to a bank or a credit union to be able to do your banking and your financing. Sorry to kind of rush that last part, but I looked at the time and I figured we probably should get to some questions.
Jessi, thank you so much for that presentation. Really insightful and very timely, as you said, considering the conditions that are happening. And even if people don't want to be looking at financing right now to be preparing for the future. As you said, it takes a lot of time to build that up. If there are any questions from our participants, you can drop that in the Q&A, or you can also raise your hand and I can unmute you. We are at about 12:25 right now, so I'm going to give a minute for any questions. Sometimes the audience is shy, so Jessi just put up his contact information. We'll also email that out to everyone who registered for today and include that on the link in case you want to reach out directly. All right. Well, unless someone pops in right now, we'll go ahead and wrap. Jessi, thank you again for today's presentation. And thank you to Numerica Credit Union. You're an incredible partner to NCW Tech Alliance, and we really appreciate the partnership. I want to thank everyone for joining us today, and to find this resource at ncwtech.org. Well, it will be online for you to share and have as a resource. Look forward to seeing you at a future Tech Alliance event, and everyone have a great day.
All right.